I shoved the phone into my bag. I leaned forward and tapped the glass partition. Frank, change of plan. Take me to the train station, please. Wait, what? Why does she ignore him? If she doesn't throw a fit, how's he supposed to find her annoying? Ugh, I hate this. Why did she ruin the script, right? She left him on read. And she literally booked a ticket to Chicago just to spite him. So toxic. No wonder he hates her. The girl next door title means nothing when you act like this. She manipulates every situation. Nothing like our Flora. Flora grew up with zero money, but she serves absolute independent girl boss energy. Love her vibe. Trash side character. Just play your part. Does she lack the brain cells to realize she simply exists as an NPC? Her only job is to move the plot forward. If she refuses to act out, who makes our Flora look good? OMG guys, switch cameras. The main couple just checked their bag. Give it a few hours and the romance era officially begins. I cannot wait. My fingers froze on the leather seat. A dull ache throbbed behind my ribs. Ever since Flora transferred to our school, I lost count of the times Kael tossed me aside for her. He always called me high maintenance. He praised Flora for surviving, for scraping by and never complaining. And me? He looked right at my face and told me I acted like a spoiled brat who refused to count her blessing. Chapter 2. We used to plan weekend movie date. Then Kael started flaking. Flora said a $15 ticket equals a whole hour of her minimum wage shift. He texted. She's not going. Go by yourself, Blair. I'm starting to realize how hard my parents work for their money. What a hypocrite. His parents just dropped $2,000 on a custom MacBook Pro for him. Our lunch dates morphed into third-wheeling nightmares. He'd literally slide the steak off my plate onto Flora's. Watch your calories, Blair. Stick to the salad. I barely weighed 100 pounds. My hip bone showed. Red flags everywhere. They piled up. He even ghosted me on my 18th birthday. I refused to blow out the candles without him. I sat at the kitchen island. The wax melted. It bled into the vanilla frosting. 11 p.m. midnight. 2 in the morning. My screen stayed pitch black. Not a single text from Kael. My stomach twisted into tight, painful knot. I made excuses for him. Maybe his car broke down. Then I opened Instagram. A story popped up. Kael and Flora. Midnight joyriding. Her arms wrapped tight around his waist on his motorcycle. They tore down an empty canyon road, the wind whipping through their hair. A cold numbness spread through my fingertips. I dropped the phone. It clattered against the marble counter. The next morning, he dragged a hand through his hair. He hit me with a weak apology. He completely forgot my birthday. My childhood best friend. Replaced. Flora suffocated every corner of our lives. Then came this graduation trip. A promise we forged freshman year. His GPA tanked back then. I held an acceptance letter to an elite magnet school in my hand. Kael begged me. He practically cried, pleading with me to stay at the local public high school with him. I caved. He promised me the ultimate road trip to Aspen for graduation. He swore he'd officially ask me out under the mountain stars. We go to the same state college. We get married after. I actually swallowed that lie. I spent 3 years tutoring him. I sacrificed my own sleep to drag his grades out of the gutter. I pushed him until his test scores matched mine. Then Flora transferred in. I became invisible. He tutored her. He was there to experience all of her first. He crushed his SATs this year. Still, he missed the cutoff for the Ivy League. He assumed I'd play the loyal sidekick again. He expected me to honor our deal, to settle for the local state college just to stay near him. He had no idea. I accepted an offer from Columbia, across the country. Giving up that magnet school still burned like acid. 2 years of his constant ditching cured my obsession. I refused to revolve my universe around Kael anymore. I packed my bags for this trip intending to break the news. I planned to tell him I was moving to New York. Instead, he ditched me again. He dragged Flora to Aspen. Kael shattered the promise first. Chapter 3. Summer flights to Aspen booked out months ago. Kael nuked my reservation. Finding a replacement ticket proved impossible. Even the regular Amtrak routes showed zero availability. I paid a ridiculous premium on a third-party app. I snagged a private sleeper car to Chicago. I dropped my duffel bag and sank onto the plush seat. My screen instantly lit up. Kael. Blair, you grabbed an Amtrak, right? Flora says riding coach takes over 40 hours and totally drains you. But the views out the window look insane. You never see that from 30,000 feet. You totally lucked out. A bitter laugh scraped my throat. I shoved the phone deep into my bag. No reply. I actually debated canceling this whole thing at the station. I almost turned around, but I refused to let him steal this milestone. Aspen belonged on my bucket list long before Kael hijacked the itinerary. I planned this solo adventure for myself. Besides, I always wanted to explore Chicago. A detour worked perfectly. He fully knew the grueling reality of a cross-country train ride. Yet he ripped my plane ticket away. Zero hesitation. Zero permission. He weaponized my money and my time, forcing me to face the terrifying anxiety of traveling solo for the first time, all just to fund another magical first for Flora. I swore to cut him out. I promised myself I was done. A sharp ache radiated through my chest. My throat swelled. Air refused to fill my lungs. The glowing text flared to life again, hovering in the cramped cabin. You have to admit, the side character possesses zero self-respect. He ditches her constantly, and she still trails right behind him. She literally booked a train to Chicago just to intercept them. Obsessed much. Thank God. I worried the plot might stall without her throwing a tantrum. The catalyst returns. The script stays on track. Perfect. Honestly, the secondhand embarrassment hits hard. Tossed aside a million times, and she still clings to him. She is so pathetically desperate. LMAO. I dragged my gaze away from the floating garbage. I stared blankly out the reinforced glass. The private roomette offered total silence. The ticket drained my savings account, but the concrete jungle blurred into green plains outside my window. The tight knots in my stomach slowly began to loosen. Chapter 4. The next day, the train pulled into Union Station in Chicago. I grabbed a physical map from a kiosk. I circled a few museums and pulled up some local food blog. The sun had already set. I checked into a boutique hotel right off the Magnificent Mile. I collapsed onto the mattress. I opened Instagram. Flora's story popped up instantly. Gave the last room to a cute couple. Guess I have to squeeze into one room with a certain someone. Blushing. The photo showed a rustic cabin interior. She angled the camera away from the center of the room, but the window glass reflected everything. One single bed. Kael sprawled across the pillows, staring at his phone. My fingers locked up. The metal edges of the phone bit into my palm. A banner notification dropped down. Kael, where are you? Flora says the train route looks insane. Send a pic. Question mark. I stared at the screen. A second text chimed. A dry, hollow sound scraped worked its way out of my throat. I set my morning alarm. I powered the device completely down. I pulled the duvet over my head. The glowing text flooded the dark room. Ooh, look at her playing hard to get. Does she seriously think leaving him on read makes him care? She is literally planning out a whole itinerary. She plans to stay in Chicago for days. How selfish can you get? Does she not know the main couple waits for her in Aspen, right? Kael keeps checking his phone. He literally gives Flora one-word answers because he waits for the side character's text. Can she stop being so toxic? Absolute trash. Let her throw her little tantrum. By the time she reaches Aspen, the forced proximity trope fully locks in. LMO, I want to see her choke on it. Exactly. Seeing her act all unbothered pisses me off. The more toxic she acts now, the harder she crashes when she gets to Aspen. Keep digging that grave. I cannot wait for her total meltdown. I squeezed my eyes shut against the neon glow. I spent the entire next day exploring Navy Pier and eating deep dish pizza. The crisp lake breeze cleared my head. That evening, I finally booted up my phone to book the next leg. The app showed dozens of available seats straight through to Aspen. I ignored them all. I booked a coach ticket to Denver instead. The screen instantly flashed an incoming call. Kael. My thumb slipped on the glass. I accidentally swiped accept. Blair, where the hell are you? His voice crackled through the speaker. What do you want? I kept my tone dead flat. Static hissed across the line. The absolute frost in my voice caught him off guard. He cleared his throat. He forced a casual laugh. Blair, just tell me your ETA. I'll drive down to the station and pick you up. I let a beat of silence stretch out. Don't bother. Enjoy your trip. He snapped instantly. The casual facade shattered. What is that supposed to mean, Blair? What do you mean enjoy our trip? Wasn't Aspen your ultimate dream? I bailed on a Miami trip with the guys for this. I dragged myself to this freezing mountain town just for you. And now you want to pull this Steve act.